Hey, Dad.
Hey, honey.
As I got into the car, I noticed my father looked troubled, clutching at his steering wheel, and staring straight ahead, as if something was really bothering him.
About what happened yesterday. I'm sorry for yelling at you. Does your cheek still hurt?
No, it's nothing to worry about.
Hey, honey.
Oh no, what happened?
Hey, honey. About what happened yesterday.
No, it's nothing to worry about.
I mean it. I shouldn't have laid a finger on you. You know that you're my most precious daughter. You're all that I have. ...
Yet he couldn't bring himself to say what he could never say to me for such a long time. I always wanted to hear those words to affirm how he really felt, but I guess even now he couldn't say it to me. I turned my head away to look out the window. There was no point in waiting for something that was never going to come. And like that, he started driving. He started to drive, and the conversation between us ended. I decided to focus my attention on the passing scenery. We were taking the usual route to my grandfather's house. It was located within the vicinity of the school district, but it was still pretty far from the school and from where our house was. He had always lived alone. He insisted on doing things by himself, even at his age, living in such a large house. I wondered, did he pass away with no one at his side as well? It sounded so lonely and sad. It was strange that he decided on living all alone in his large estate. If anything, he could have lived with us. Oh God. Though he and my father probably would have given each other the silent treatment the entire time. Maybe living alone was preferable to that. I actually hadn't visited him for quite a while. Visits to his house were most frequent when I was a child, and I had grown up long since then. But last time I visited, though, I thought he looked just as he usually was, happy and healthy. But things changed. In the back of my mind, I knew that he would have to leave one day. It wasn't like humans could live forever. So why did my heart feel so heavy? The car ride was mostly spent in silence until he spoke up again.
How was school? Maintaining your grades, I hope.
Yeah. I've been trying my best as of so far.
Trying? That's not really doing the best you can, is it?
My father only some words I said were filtered through his ears. It was difficult to keep up with the conversation without eventually talking about academics or my future, even if it was something loosely based on it. He always found a way to integrate it whenever we talked.
Anyway, your belongings are in the trunk. There isn't a lot, so I'm sure you can manage bringing them inside the house. After all, you are on the road to being independent now.
Yes, I can manage on my own. The usual silence resumed between us. I really wasn't sure what to say around him, especially when most of the time we didn't share the same opinions. One question did linger in my mind, though. If he was going to justify acting so nonchalant at my grandfather's funeral, I had the right to at least know why. I'm gonna leave it alone. This guy's standing in a fucking car, so there was no use talking to him about this. It would be like reopening a wound or reapplying a bruise. I sighed. He gave me a side glance out of curiosity, but didn't pursue it further. Typical. I leaned against the car door and started and stared out the window. I really couldn't think. What would this place be like? I had been to my grandfather's house before, but it was one thing visiting, and it was another thing actually living here. How would I manage living on my own without my training to really care for our house? I knew that naturally the bills would be paid by my parents, who inherited grandfather's stocks in the corporation, but I had never lived independently before. Thinking about it made me feel like some kind of bird being pushed out of the nest. Though I was technically an adult, I felt unprepared and a bit daunted at the prospect of actually moving into a new place. Most people my age would be ecstatic about moving. After all, it would symbolize some kind of change in their lives, like being on the road to independence. But I felt like it was nothing of the sort. I really hoped I wouldn't let my parents down. I wouldn't want to let my grandfather down. What would he be saying right now? I gazed up at the passing clouds in the sky. If you're out there, grandfather, how would you be doing? Would there be anything you'd want to tell me at the moment? And of course, no answer. What was I doing? Searching for an answer in a heaven that would or would not exist, in a heaven that would or would not exist. I ducked my head to stare at the blur of the trees and cars. From the car window, my head was definitely going into the clouds there at the moment. Either way, I found myself being driven off to my new home. The car rolled to a stop and drifted out of my thoughts.
Here we are. Go on in.
All right, tell Mom I love her.
All right.
I love you, Dad. No. Make sure to come by and visit us often. No. Make sure to come by and visit us. Fucking hell. No. Make sure to come by and visit us often. No. I'm going to miss you lots. Nothing other than a blank stare. I paused for a bit before reaching to the car door handle, waiting for any form of a goodbye, but he didn't speak again. I sighed and exited the car, hearing my dad pop up in the trunk. I saw two large bags I saw the two large bags I packed last night that were large enough to carry only the things I needed. I took them out, placed one bag on each shoulder, and closed the trunk. Then he drove off, leaving me alone in front of the mansion. I watched the blue car fade into the distance and the road fade into the distance of the road before turning to see my new home. There it is. It's huge. That's what she said. My grandfather gave me this. It's hard to believe. The house was framed by a set of tall gates, and I hesitantly pushed them aside to take in the entire estate. The house was still like it was when I last visited him. At a glance, it seemed kind of intimidating with its size. Though if I came closer, it was clear that there was more to it than that. The brick walls were framed by shrubbery, lovely flowers, giving it a homey, welcoming look. But in contrast, the tall doors in the house gave me a feeling of grandeur. Who knew? Who knew what was waiting for me? But I wouldn't back down at this moment. I took out the key to the front doors and unlocked them. Well, might as well make myself at home. I'll be staying here for quite a while anyways. That's when I saw them. Laying in front of the door was a group of men. They were all unconscious, but there was no explanation as to why they were there in the first place. I dropped my bags as I let the door close on its own behind me. Wait, Jesus. Huh? Who the heck are these guys? Why are they here? What's going on? Some of them had open wounds. The blood was staining the floor, and the scent was intermingling with the air. I couldn't help but feel bad for them instinctively, but nevertheless, I was shocked and a bit angry at the sudden intrusion. My mind suddenly went from caring and concerned to confused and demanding answers. Who are you guys? No response. I'll call the police. Still nothing. None of them seemed to be awake to answer or respond to me. It seemed surreal to have random strangers in the house I just moved into, but I wanted answers quickly. That was until... Ape, get away from me!
Woman, you're going to let me kiss you.
The fuck? I couldn't believe it myself, but within a mere blink of an eye, one of the men went from laying on the floor behind floor to being right in front of my face. What was even more odd was the fact that I felt serene and calm about it. Slowly, a desire burned from my chest, telling me to accept his kiss. Even when my mind vehemently refused. Go ahead.
Good.
As he kissed me, I could feel my body go weak. I didn't know why, but that kiss was draining me of my energy, and yet it was so good and made my heart sing. It was a strange and tingling feeling that danced over every nerve on my body. I could feel streams of intangible energy run up my body and into my lips. It felt odd, but at the same time, it felt amazing.
Sam, stop it.
The person kissing me, Sam was his name, glanced behind him.
I said stop. No.
Fine.
Fuck. Dude, that guy looks cool. What the hell? Finally, he pulled back, and I was left standing there in a daze. What? Huh? I couldn't tell what was going on. My mind was completely enwrapped by the kiss in my thoughts, that melted into depths of unforgotten memories.
Please forgive my brother. He's a bit reckless.
At least I feel a hell of a lot better than you right now.
Because you used your abilities on her.
Sam, you're such a reckless brute. Taking advantage of a beautiful young woman like her.
Shut that pretty boy mouth of yours before I rip it off your pretty boy face.
Jeez, you guys. Can we not fight right now? Not all of us are in the best state.
I guess you are right, Matthew.
He looks like a Team Aqua member.
I agree.
However, as the men got up and started to chat freely, my thoughts began to reassemble, and I remembered my confusion and anger once again, only now multiplied tenfold. What?
Huh? Did you say something beautiful?
And I exploded. What is going on? Why the hell are you all here? In my house? Why are you all wounded? Why did you kiss me? Who are you guys? Jesus fuck. I couldn't help exploding. But after being taken advantage of and being left in a mush state, my words escaped without filter. I definitely scared the men around me, even the man who kissed me. Wait a second. The guy who kissed me.
Ouch! What's your problem?
What's your problem? What's your problem? You can't just go around forcing people to kiss you like that. Are you some kind of pervert?
Pervert? It was only a kiss!
It might mean nothing to you, but it means a lot to me.
What? Was it your first kiss? Ow! Hey! What was that for?
I know first kisses aren't exactly amazing and full of sparkles and something out of fairy tales, but I had at least expected it to be more than just something forced.
So it was your first kiss. Stop making such a big deal out of it.
Are you asking to get punched again?
Well, what do you want me to do? It's not like I can somehow take it back.
The fuck? Hit him again. Ask for an apology. You should at least apologize. That would suffice. As if, to himself, he muttered something under his breath.
Why do I always look like the bad guy? Apologies aren't my forte, but I'll try my best. Okay, fine. I'm sorry.
Sorry about what?
I'm sorry for kissing you like that. I went too far.
He sighed and ran his fingers through his hair.
I didn't mean for it to turn out that way. It's just... I act on impulse, okay? It's difficult to control myself and... What am I saying?
It's okay. I get what you're trying to say. Thank you for the apology.
Yeah, no problem.
Anyway, if you try to pull any funny business in the future, just a fair warning. I know Taekwondo. I think I've bickered enough. Time to get back to the main issue. So what exactly are all of you doing in my house? All you hunks of man meat.
Miss, please forgive us in our intrusion. We didn't know this abode belonged to anyone, nor did we have the time to take that into consideration.
What do you mean? You don't just barge into people's homes.
We wouldn't have had to if we weren't as wounded as we are currently. We just escaped from a deadly fight that could have ended our lives. Luckily for us, your home was near and the windows were unlocked, so we quickly came inside.
The last time I remembered, there were laws preventing strangers from stepping on private property. Although considering the severity of their wounds, it had to be serious. I guess that explains the wounds, but not why he kissed me. He had absolutely no right to do that.
Well, lovely flustered lady, it's hard to explain, truly. We're not exactly normal.
Not normal. What are you guys, demons or something? I asked almost jokingly, but the boys seemed to take my question differently.
Well, yeah, actually, something like that.
The demon boys. Matthew.
We're incubi, miss. Demons who consume and use sexual energy of humans to survive.
Fuck. Incubi, the fabled demons that existed to haunt humans and make them sex-crazed monsters, the mythical beings that could look like anyone just to get into their pants, the imaginary monsters you only saw in movies or on TV.
Hello? Did you hear him?
We're telling the truth.
Do you think she's still processing it?
Yes, and she'll understand right about...
Right. It was funny while it lasted, but it's time to cut the joke short. Incubuses don't exist. There was no way they existed. That would be practically impossible.
Incubi is the correct plural form. And yes, we do exist.
Prove it. As soon as the words left my mouth, I instantly regretted them.
Very well. Eric, go ahead.
Very well. My sweet, you're so tempting with such non-belief. Let me ease your mind with a tender kiss. I promise you'll enjoy every minute of it, and maybe you'll even want more.
What? No. Once again, I was lost in a pool of calm serenity, staring into Eric's eyes. I felt waves of heat course through my chest and onto my face, painting my cheeks red in their wake. I couldn't help but nod and agree to his offer. Yeah, okay. Fuck, I hate the whenever they kiss. It's so fucking weird. Without another kiss, my heart began to flutter once again, and my chest and my mind was sent spinning into a heated passion-filled pleasure. Yet, I could feel my body drain of energy as he kissed me.
All right, that's enough.
Aw, very well. I feel so much better.
This is fucking disgusting. As he pulled away, I was left in a mental mush pull. I felt weak to my knees, despite my will demanding me to stand straight in front of the boys before me. The world around me began to spin as I tried to speak. I think I'm going to...
Where are our manners? I'm James.
James.
And these are my brothers. Sam, Eric, Matthew, and Damien.
Miss, are you okay?
Shit. She fainted.
She fainted. I couldn't believe it. Incubi. Real? It all spun around in my head until I saw only black. Floating in the darkness, my mind kept replaying the scene over and over again, reminding my body that of the touch of the Incubi's lips against mine. However, I began to feel the smooth silk around me, and my eyelids unwillingly opened. Where? I awoke to find myself in an unfamiliar place. Where was my mom? Dad? I was pretty sure this wasn't my room. Oh wait, I lived at my grandfather's house now. Of course, it would be unfamiliar. I rubbed my eyes. I rubbed my eyes and surveyed my surroundings. I was still in my clothes that I arrived at the house in, but I was laying in my silk-covered bed. I remembered coming in the afternoon, so why was it nighttime already? Suppressing a yawn, I stretched my arms. Maybe I should order some food for a delivery. I was feeling pretty hungry. I was about to sit up, but suddenly I realized that I wasn't alone.
You're awake.
It's fucking crazy. Well, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Seduce Me the Otome. I will catch you guys in the next one. This is the end of this recording session, so I'm going to record some more later, and I will catch you guys then. Bye-bye.